do can hear you.
No.
We're live, Mr. Coach Bryant.
What's up? What's up?
What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Hey, welcome to Hits and Heels. 2 weeks in a row. I almost didn't make it because I've been having the sniffles and listen to my voice. And I hope y'all can hear me. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 3.
On the mic now.
Microphone checker. So anyway, hey guys, my name is Coach Terri Bryant, and I am a football coach. Thanks to this gentleman right here, Coach Bryant, who's been coaching for 11 years and made me a football coach. And so we created Hits and Heels because I felt like, I could talk about some football, but I'm a big sports nut. I also coach track. I also played basketball and was a basketball coach, and my husband also coaches baseball, which actually he loves that more than he loves football. And so we kind of just feel like we just have a voice of talk sports, and we just enjoy sports. We really, really love it. And so Hits and Heels is kind of, a platform where we actually we want to be different. What sets us apart from everybody else from Hits and Heels, I think, is we have legendary conversations with people that you normally don't hear from. But they're important. But because they're not in mainstream media or because they're local, doesn't necessarily mean that their voice and their stories are not important to the sports community. So if you're a sports nut like us, you'll actually really, really appreciate a lot of the interviews that we've done. If you go to YouTube and to Hits and Heels, there's a link right at the top. And even start from the beginning. We've had some really, really good conversations and some really, really good stories on this show. And we really enjoy being able to spotlight people that deserve their flowers and probably haven't gotten the flowers that they deserve. But we like highlighting those type of people. Coach Bryant, what you got?
Well, that's what I got. What you just said. That's what I got.
Did I kind of explain to people what Hits and Heels does?
Well, Hits and Heels does. I mean, Hits and Heels is I love the attention that it brings to a lot of the ladies that don't get the attention that they need, and that's why you and your partner, what's her name?
Danny.
Danny, yes. I'm sorry, Danny. Apologize. Created this format, and I'm very happy when you say you want to come on, and I enjoy it. I enjoy when people communicate in. We always hear a lot. I hear a lot of times, man, I was listening to you and your wife.
Oh, we get that a lot.
Yeah. And time in if you have a question on something, because it sort of gives us a different topic that maybe that we're not thinking about.
Yeah.
Or a person we're not thinking about, or something that's going on. That we're not thinking about, and using that word 3 times. But with that said, that's why we say time in, and not literally. It helps the show because number one, number two, it helps again on topics or people that we're not talking about, and give that conversation.
And we can give people what they need, because a lot of times, what do we talk about? A lot of times when we're talking, even when we're coaching, is that sometimes a question that you might answer and ask is something that you don't know, but then there's lots of other people that won't ask. So a lot of times we'll look to see who's on now, like, and maybe nobody may chime on right now, but then when I'll go back and look at the numbers, then we'll see, hundreds and sometimes thousands of people have actually came back and watched it offline, I guess, because they're scared to see whether or not we can see them online. But when we're online right now, I cannot see who's online unless you actually make a message in the comments,
right,
to let us know that you're there. That's really the only way that that I know that you're there. And I'm getting ready to go on here just to make sure that we are live, because I don't see it on here. Okay.
Well,
all right, Coach Bryant, what you got?
Well, I don't know. I'm all over the place right now. It's funny. In the coach of the New York Knicks got dismissed.
I think that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of in my life.
And you know, and that's the NBA, but I don't know when you stop blaming coaches.
Okay,
You know,
but this is
because
the first time since how long that they made the playoffs, and
no, they've been in the
five
playoffs.
out of the last 4 years, they've at least had a 50 game winning. How do you say record? I mean, that's pretty good when you play 80 games. I mean,
right. Well,
you're above
my biggest
500,
thing
so
is
I
he's
don't
taking them,
understand.
and the biggest curse for them, in my mind, is they you know, the biggest plus for New York this year is they beat Boston.
Yeah,
They beat Boston, and the biggest curse, they beat Boston.
yeah.
So everybody was expecting them to beat Indiana, and Indiana played very well. And you know, they play OKC and starts tomorrow in the NBA championship. And I don't get it. He's done a lot, coach of this and coach of that, and I just think sometimes, you know, players have got to make plays. Players has got to make
That's
plays.
like any sport.
I mean, players has got to make plays, and
coaches can't go out there and make the plays for the coaches.
Time since I've
That's why they get paid.
The coach, I know it's been a long time since I've been a player. I've been a coach way longer than I've been a player. But you know, I always say to my players all the time, you know, their job is to make me look like a genius.
Yeah.
You know, I do something, and your job is again to make me look like wow. And my job is not to mess it up as a coach. So that's big for me. I didn't get that.
I didn't get that. I didn't get it. And you know, when that happens, the coaches that need to get fired don't get fired, and the coaches that don't need to get fired get fired. It's like backwards. It's backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Well, who do you got? Who you got to win it?
Well, I mean, family, people from Nap. I was this weekend playing in a baseball tournament up in Indianapolis, Indiana, and hung out with my my first cousin, my boy, my dog Russell, and you know, and of course they are Pacers, and his lovely wife, and you know, she was pumped too, and I loved it, and the aunties and cousins and people are pumped, and I don't know. Indiana's got to play a very good game to win 4. They got to play multiple, you know, players got to step up more than what they can step up against, you know, their past opponents.
Mm-hmm.
Because that young team of OKC is just, oh my gosh. They run, they play defense, they're athletic. They got some horses. They got a lot. No, let me rephrase. They got some stallions. They just don't have your average horse. They just don't have your average horse.
Hey, Joanne Pugh. How are you? Hey, look what I got right here. So Joanne Pugh, y'all, you just chimed in. Hold on, let me highlight her real quick. Hey, Joanne. She is the 50-yard line mom. Go to Amazon and get her book. She's the bomb. She was on our show a year ago, maybe a year ago, and it's time to bring her back because she brings some good information when it comes to you know, the health and wellness of your football or just of your athletes winning. Anyway, Joanne, thank you for coming on. It's good to see you, and we got to get you booked here pretty soon. Yeah, her book's good.
I mean, I wrote it a little bit.
Yeah, her book is good. Her book is good.
I mean, she hits some major points, and which is good. I like that. My mom's journey through NFL.
Yeah, her son had gotten injured, and she talks about it, and now she's an advocate for athletes and their health and wealth, and she's actually got something going on like with Harvard. With Harvard, and doing some good things with that. So, Joanne, thank you for popping in and saying hi to us today. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Love what you're doing as well. So anyway, so I just don't understand the losing the coach at there.
The New York Knicks.
At the New York Knicks. I don't understand that.
Well, and unless there was something behind this thing.
I was talking about that today with a coworker. To me, either a player either one of the studs doesn't get along with the coach, or had a problem with the coach, or there was something else. But did you know that is it Brunson? His dad is an assistant coach.
Yes.
And maybe that might have been an issue.
Well, I don't know.
I'm not starting rumors.
Yeah,
I'm not starting rumors.
How many y'all think that was a rumor?
Nope, I'm not starting no rumors. That could be an issue. I'm just saying we have no
well,
idea what the issue.
Brunson is a beast. His dad don't need to advocate for it.
He doesn't. He's a beast.
He don't.
He's a beast.
His dad don't need to say anything. He's not your average player.
He's not. He's good. He's a good player. So I don't have no idea about what's going on with that. Anyway, what's the next topic, Coach Bryant?
We're just shooting it out there. Kentucky ended up had a 5-run lead in baseball and ended up losing. But I said it before, Coach, the head man has done. He did a better job this year than he did last year.
Oh, even though they went farther last year.
Well, they went farther,
but he lost a lot of people.
He lost a lot.
Yeah.
And for him to come back and get his kids motivated, and they got in. That's a lot of college teams did not get in, and he did a very good job. And people second guess him. It's a whole lot easier. The one thing I can always say, and I'm gonna go on this coach moment here. And the one thing I can always say, that if you are not making that decision, you will always make the right decision.
Yes.
You're always going to be 2 for 2.
Yes.
You're always going to be 2 for 2.
Yes.
When you make a decision and he didn't bring his ace in, but he's got a 5-run lead. Right. No coach will bring their ace in, people. I'm not bringing my ace in when I'm figuring we're going to get 3 outs. They may get a couple runs. Mm-hmm. We'll win by 3 or 2. And as long as we get the W, it didn't work out that way. And I don't understand the second guessing of that. That's a 5-run lead in baseball. But for you to get an opportunity to score 5 runs in one inning don't happen very often. And the coach is escaping me. Big game yesterday. Of course, an official has to put his 2 cents in and make a rule. Make a rule, which is the rule. Now, do not question the rule. What happened is, oh gosh, I had it wrote down on my notes and I didn't bring them up here. Basically, what happened is this kid is one of their best players on the team, and I got to look it up to get the name right. Hits a home run, hits a bomb. He's into it. What's my favorite saying? Do something, get the crowd into it. And they take the lead, and he's jumping up and down, and they put a hat, some type of hat on their head in the dugout. They can't do it out on the field. He's pumped. The next guy hits a base hit that does something big. It's a double. It's a double. And when he hits the double, everybody's going crazy. Another run scores. The crowd's into it. Bop, 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 bop. Crowd's into it. The fans are into it. And he comes out of the dugout, and Mr. Umpire, the rule is he gets gone. So they're one of their best players, and I got to get the detail. God, I don't have my notes with me. If somebody knows what I'm talking about, you look it up and then time me in and refresh my memory. It comes out of the dugout. Because he comes out of the dugout, the umpire throws him out of the game with the head up because he's got a head on. He wasn't having nothing. He wasn't teasing the other team. Right. He wasn't. I hope, and I say this when officials like him that officiates, and how I feel about that. I'm one is sometimes you got to use a little bit common sense. You got to understand the situation.
Be understanding.
Right. So I hope that when he left the park and got in his car and the speed limit was 40, that he was doing 41 and that police officer gave him a ticket.
Right. Because
they always say, well, it's the rule. No, everybody stretches rules. Everybody stretches rules. It's like the rule of are you in the box or you're out of the box.
Right.
And to me, as an official, sometimes you got to use a little bit common sense. So they're going to lose one of their best players coming up this week, and I'm about to move so I can get this up. I mean, again, I just think sometimes you just put yourself in a situation that you shouldn't be in.
Mm-hmm.
You put yourself in a situation that it could. Now, this young man,
he's missing out on.
He's going to miss out on an opportunity that he gets once in life because the umpire went 100% by the rule. Anybody out there, Miss Joanne, you get in your car and you going 41, and that police officer gives you a ticket at 41 miles an hour when the speed limit is 40, you will lose your everlasting mind. Are you serious?
Yeah.
And this is the umpire, in my mind, what he did is he did that to me. Is that he did that, and it's where he asserted himself with power, and which a lot of officials do. I don't care. I say it all the time. Is they live with this power because for the first time they actually have power. So they take advantage of it. They want to say whatever they want to the coaches, but the coaches can't respond back to them. We're human too.
Right.
I'm a man.
Yeah.
You come at me, I'm gonna come back at you. And but with that said, with the with that, I'm so sorry for
that young man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we as we stay on baseball. Yeah. Miss Joanne said that she hears you. She says she hears you. And since RUK Wildcats are out of the running, our nephew is on the way to UCLA. Brock is on the way and his team, the University of Texas San Antonio, is on the way to play UCLA this weekend. So good luck to him and his team, and I hope that they have a
smooth eyes, blue eyes.
Hey, y'all have a safe trip, Marissa, to California, and I hope it's. I know the weather is going to be absolutely fantastic, and you guys have enjoy hanging out at UCLA. Congratulations to our nephew. Are we done with baseball? We're going to softball because softball is going on right now. My girl is playing like right now.
Who's your girl?
Najee. Not what's her name? I don't even know how to say her name.
Najee
Kennedy.
Najee. She is a $1 million young lady. And so just like anything else, if people see your value, quit looking for your value. People have to see it.
Yeah.
Okay. She can think she's $1 million, but if somebody else doesn't see it, you have to do it to impress that other person.
Right.
That other person. And she gave up a home run in Oklahoma that stopped Oklahoma's streak for the first time. They're not going to the championship game, not going to the Final Four. And she gave up the home run, pitched. They scored 2 runs in the first. Texas Tech did. And then Oklahoma came back. Young lady hit a 2-run bomb to tie it up. But just like anything else, it's not an individual sport. It is an individual sport, but it's also a team concept. And their teammates said, "We got you." And they picked her up, scores a run, base hit, a double, scores a run. Fly ball hit the right field. She tried to throw her out, can't get it. Texas Tech wins, and they move on. And excellent game.
Well, right now it's a 0-0 in the top of the 5th, so they're battling. I think another good story from that one too is the pitcher from Oklahoma. Used to be. Was he with? I don't know if she was with Texas or with someone else, but the coach for Texas Tech was her former coach.
Okay.
And they gave like the biggest hug to each other and had mad love for each other. And I love when coaches don't hold grudges against players that decide to leave and do what they think is best for them.
Yeah. Well, we got that last year with Kentucky when they played Georgia. The head man. He seeked out, the young man that was
the
playing.
Quarterback. Oh yeah, the quarterback and the defensive lineman.
The defensive lineman. Linebackers.
The linebacker.
They seek them out to show them their love, and that's just the way it's supposed to be. If a young person doesn't want to play for your team, quit holding grudges against them. Just let them go. Let them go. And I say this in this way. It's not being negative towards anybody. Nobody, just like they said in Poetic Justice, I'm not in the business to keep somebody don't want to be kept.
Right. Absolutely.
That's a good statement.
Yeah.
For y'all young people, that was a movie.
Yeah. Hey, Auntie Mary, and thank you for always coming on and showing us the support. We love you too. All right, what's next, Coach Bryant? We're not going to be on here long today. I am sleepy.
Why are you sleepy for?
Because I was up couldn't sleep last night. And then I done caught this cold, and you took all the covers. We ain't talked all day, and we get ready to put all our business all out on the street because you pulled all the covers off me, and I was cold last night.
But it is hot in there, bro. It's hot.
But I was freezing because you wasn't that, because you had them pulled all the covers. You did one of them numbers like that.
Like that, yeah.
That pulled all the covers up.
That's a dance. So, but yeah, I don't know. I guess the next topic is that we can go local and talk about the, high school baseball. The weather's supposed to get a little bit bad, and hopefully they can get the Sweet 16, the Elite 8 in, and they will be playing at Pride Field. That is on UK's campus.
Okay, and not Whitaker.
No, Pride Field. Yeah, they're playing at Pride Field.
I love it.
Yeah, and
that's a beautiful field.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
sounds good. What else, Coach Bryant?
Hey, were you guys saying what else?
What else, Coach Bryant? What else, Coach Bryant? What else? It's a lot. So, guys, thank y'all for coming on. We just had, we don't never have a script, and so
we got a script.
We kind of have a script. We kind of know what we're going to talk about, but we don't have nothing written down, and we don't have like a script where we're sitting here just reading off of anything or whatever like that. We kind of just wing it. Now, I do want to go to my women's team. We have our last home game this Saturday at 6:00 at Holy Cross High School. And then next week we travel to Atlanta. So I'll be traveling to Atlanta, and you'll be traveling to where are you? I don't know. Where you be on? Somewhere, right? And so so come on out. I think the weather will be nice this weekend, and it'll be a great day to kind of just hang out. Last week was good. We battled in the first half, and then we kind of, it kind of fell apart for us in the second half. But we got a lot of rookies, and I like the new coaching staff, and I like the direction that we're going.
Well, all you gotta do is give your effort. That's again goes back to players make plays.
Players gotta make plays.
Players
gotta make plays.
People look at me. I've been so blessed.
You gotta catch the ball. You gotta make the tackle.
I've been so blessed in my coaching career to coach the players that I've coached, and I look back, and a lot of times you don't really truly, as a coach, you don't really truly enjoy it until 100%, where it's basically it's over. They move on, and once they move on, then the main objective is you come right back and you think about what they did and how they did it. And that's y'all's team. I think, a few times players got to make plays. You got to tackle. You have to. You got to make the play. It's not a contact sport. It's a collision sport.
Yes.
And everybody, that's my word. Mm-hmm. And I watch the ladies, and I love watching them. And ladies, let me tell you, I watch y'all, and I'm a fan. I'm a major fan of the effort, and especially because the difference in them. And a lot of, like, when you think of college, you think of pros, these young ladies have a job. I couldn't imagine one of the players, and she's outstanding, and she's my girl, and she wears a badge. And she sits in her car all day, and she deals with a lot of stuff all day, and then she puts on the pads.
Sometimes she's doing a 16-hour workday, and then still will come out to a game. And after she done worked a 16-hour shift, and we have, and a lot of them, some of them are, and she's a mom. with a baby.
But a young,
He just
young
turned
baby.
a young baby. He just turned one.
One. I was
You
gonna
know,
say he's just one.
and he's got a 5 or 6 year old. You know, and so then we got other ones that are grandmothers and kids and it's different.
It's different. And sometimes when you watch them play, let me say this, you forget
that they're women.
Not that they're women. You keep throwing women up. I'm not saying they're women. I'm saying that that you forget what they have to do when they leave the field.
Okay, gotcha. I see what you're saying.
That's what I'm getting at. I mean, you forget what they had to do when they got on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't dawn on me till I came to a practice and there's little babies and the mom is tackling and mom gets up and checks to make sure the baby is fine. Or the mom is catching a pass and making sure or the babysitting the niece or the cousin. And sometimes you forget that, and that's when you talk about come out and support them because they deserve to be supported.
The sacrifice that they make is unbelievable.
To give joy, because watching sports is joy.
But to want to play tackle football as a woman is huge.
Well, I just think they're athletes. So
they are athletes. Yeah.
I don't
but when we're trying to recruit all the time, and most 9 out of 10 women, they're like, "Girl, I'm not getting ready to do that. I'm not getting ready to get hit. I ain't feeling none of that."
Because a lot of them had an urge. A lot of these ladies had an urge when they were younger.
Yes, and didn't have the opportunity.
There's a lot out there that has that, and it's going to be a lot when they start doing the flag football.
I can't wait.
I mean, when the flag football kicks up in Fayette County and they're doing their thing, and then you start enjoying it. And then you say, "Oh, I can play at that level."
Mm-hmm.
I can play at that level. And so with that said, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. So
exciting. Anyway, so now I'm going to move over to I'm missing something. The Lexington African American Sports Hall of Fame. Let me put this on there. There we go. So we're sponsored by the Lexington African American Sports Hall of Fame. I thought something was missing. I didn't know what it was until
you was missing the Lexington Hall.
Yeah. So we are again on the red carpet this fall.
Well, we had a meeting yesterday. Did you tell everybody I was at baseball?
No, yesterday wasn't one of those meetings. Yesterday was just a meeting of the chairs. Oh, I'm not a chair. No, I can't be a chair. You're just not. We can give you a chair because we need some people to run a committee. What? You want to run a committee? I'm not a chair. Okay, that's what I thought. Well, that's what that meeting was for. I'm not a chair. I'm good. I'm gonna stay in my row. I'm gonna stay on my. Thank you, Miss Joanne. Blessings to you too, my friend. Appreciate you. And yeah, so that's what that was. So that it was a planning meeting of all of the board chairs, committee chairs. Okay, I was going to say committee chairs. Sometimes committee chairs. Sometimes you don't tell them that I'm coaching. I do. Yeah, I do most of the time. Okay. If you're supposed to be on, I tell them. Yeah, all the time. Every time. You said most of the time. No, every time. If you're supposed to be on there, I vouch for you. All right. Well, I'm there if I ain't coaching. Right. So anyway, so we have a LAASHOF scholarship opportunity for student athletes. The deadline is June the 13th. You should be able to go to our website to be able to apply for that. So if you have any athletes that they already got an offer, especially if they're getting ready to go play a sport this fall, or they're already playing a sport and they're already in college, I think they're still eligible for it. But it's free money. Just apply, but you can't get it if you don't apply for it. Okay. And with LAASHOF, so the gala is September the 20th, 25 at the Central Bank Center. Make sure you get your tickets for that, LAASHOF.com, so you can get the scholarships on the website. You can get your tickets off the website, and the deadline for anybody that has an opportunity to get nominated for the class of 2026. That deadline is October the 31st,
Okay,
2025.
explain to everybody how this works, and then you can tell a person, and then they can tell a person, because a lot of times, if you will, we get a lot of heat on this person, and we're saying, okay, nominate them.
Right. Okay. So the first when we first got this started, we put it out to the community and we asked for nominations for the Lexington African American Sports Hall of Fame. We didn't get a lot of community support because, of course, they had no idea what the heck was going on. And so as a team, we just started brainstorming and just started throwing names out there as far as who do we know. And so that first class turned out the way that it did. We try to put the obvious people in these first couple of years. So now we're getting to the part where people aren't really so obvious, because when you nominate them, you have to give us all of their information. Like, for instance, we've got a nominate for a person and they just said that he's just a good person. That just doesn't cut it. Like, we might know their name, but there's people, we don't know everybody, and everybody on the selection committee and the nomination committee don't know everybody. So you have to know, we have no idea who this person is, and we should be able to go and maybe go. Sometimes we can't Google them. Some people are not Googleable, right? Because Google doesn't have updated, it's not as updated as we think it is. So you can't really,
when you Google, somebody had to put that in. They didn't put it in.
Right, they didn't put it in on its own. Right.
people
and a lot of the people that probably need to be nominated, okay, were around before there was the internet and all that type of stuff. So, it's hard to kind of go back and add this information that probably needed to be in Google, right? And so you have to give us some type of documentation, or where they played and what their accolades are, and why do we think that they should be nominated or selected? It's okay to nominate. The nomination is good for 5 years. So just because you nominated them this year, and maybe they didn't get selected. So there's a difference between nomination and select. Just because you're nominated doesn't necessarily mean you're selected. So we have this database of people, and our selection committee has to run this database all the way down from a couple of hundred people, and then narrow it down to the class, which is usually about 20 to 25 people. Okay. And that's difficult. That's very difficult, because there's so many people that are deserving. And so then, then it almost kind of becomes a popularity contest, because you're like, well, I know this person and I know that they were a beast, or they were good. And then, so now we're in a debate on who should get in over someone else. Okay.
And it goes by the information.
Right. And then it has to go by the information, because everybody votes anonymously on who they think. And then most of that is based off of looking at their bio and the information that was inputted into the database. But you can go onto the website. There's different choices you could choose between a supporter. You could be, where's that sheet at? You could be a supporter, an athlete, an official, a coach. It was up here. I don't know what happened to it. That's it right here. So a supporter, a coach, official, or athlete, right? And so those are the different areas that they can be nominated. Now we didn't get into it the other day, but we had a great conversation about that, because there's a lot of people that felt like we really didn't get this right, or we didn't put a lot of people in that probably should have gotten in, because everybody has their opinion on how or who, but then nobody wants to come and help us put in the work. So if you're somebody that thinks that you could do a better job, or think that
you can help us.
You could just help us, or you could just help us. I apologize. That you could just help us. We'll take that help. We'll take that help, because we do need just a different opinion. And everybody can just comes with a different reason on why a certain person should be nominated as over somebody else. Now, I'm an advocate for the women. So if y'all mad that there's about 3 or 4 50-11 women that got nominated last year and this year, I ain't gonna lie, I'm all about making sure we're having some sort of equity and the women are represented. And I'm really excited about that, because our girl Erica Jackson and my girl Gwen Rucker and Michi and who else other women we got in there? I forgot athlete wise. Those are the ones that I know for sure. I was advocating for and was hoping that they would get in, and luckily, they did, right? And so we're excited about that. And so we're gonna get all dolled up and go get our hair, nails, and face done, and go find a new outfit. And it's gonna be a red carpet event, and it's first class. It's classy. I think it's one of the best events in the city. And it's enjoyable. It's like a family reunion, and especially if you're in the sports community. If you're not in the sports community, you don't appreciate it as much as we do, because we're obviously we're sports minded. We live and breathe sports almost 24 hours a day in our household. So
well, hold up. I was talking to Quincy Murdoch Q today, and I said, believe it or not, we don't watch Sports Center. Very seldom is Sports Center on the TV. Well, you don't even turn on the TV.
I don't even turn on
your eyes.
I didn't rub my eyes. I'm just saying we don't even turn.
Very seldom we may watch a sport game on TV, but we don't watch Sports Center. Meaning,
right, just
them talking sports 24 hours a day or whatever.
Right.
It's like, in our mind, we like to watch it, go see it, support, and I just think it's pretty good.
I guess for those that don't know, our for our background, so we both coach at Crawford Middle School. As far as I know, we're the only husband and wife coaching duo across the nation that coaches at a school level. I'm sure there's plenty at like the Pee Wee level, but not at the school level that we are. And Coach Bryant has coached. He's presently an assistant head baseball coach at the high school level, and he's also coaching a 14U travel baseball team. And I just got done finishing coaching track, and I used to coach basketball back in the day. I'd also coached AAU, and back in the day. So we're really into it. And I played softball, I played basketball, I ran track, and I played what else did I do? Volleyball. So those were my favorite that I did. So, and Coach Bryant played football at the University of Kentucky back in the day, and our son followed in his footsteps and is now a starting safety, number 14, Ty Bryant.
Number 14.
Maybe number 14. He's talking about changing the number. Oh, Lord. I hope he doesn't. So everybody don't be mad at me, because I'll be pushing at his jersey, and then y'all be like, I just paid for this jersey, and he didn't change his number. But anyway, that's okay. But so that's us. That's what we do. And so again, a part of this too of this podcast is we've been through the recruiting process, and so we also love being able to be a help for parents that just have questions about the recruiting process. And it's something else. I mean, it's stressful.
Well, I don't know. I think
it's fun, but it's stressful.
Okay. What it has a lot to do with, a lot of it you don't know. And I had this conversation with a dad today at the school, and his son is a pretty good player for Sarah. And the thing about it, if you don't know, it seems very stressful. Now I know the process. So if somebody walks up to me and say, what's the process? What's the blueprint? I know what the blueprint is. And that's what you got to do when you look at recruiting as we move the subject over a little bit. And the biggest thing that when I'm talking to my 14U is sort of like getting an A in a classroom. Okay, you can't get an A in a classroom if you don't do homework. That's a fact. You're going to have to do some studying. You're going to have to do some homework. And the overall thing about it is the same thing in sports. You have to put effort in. You have to do a little bit more
than just showing up to practice.
Yeah, you have to. Because a lot of parents think that it's the coach's fault. It's not the coach's fault.
Not at all.
I mean, it's what you put in. I mean, I say for a fact that the stuff I put in to Ty, when Ty got to high school, he was high school ready.
Yes.
Okay. Frederick Douglass helped it out, but he was high school ready when he got there. Okay. He was basically college ready. They tweaked some stuff, but he was college ready. And that's that little effort you know, as a mom or dad or a grandfather or uncle or grandmother, whoever, a first cousin, second cousin, whatever. And you've got to get that young person, male or female, doing this or that. Take them and figure out if their subject is social studies and they have a hard time in math, which book they're going to pick up to study. Social studies, because it comes easily. If they have a hard time dribbling with their left hand, you got to make them dribble the ball with their left hand, because they're not going to do it, because it's hard. And nobody said it was going to be easy. So what that said is decided.
It's not easy getting to the next level, you know, and, you know, you can't live through your child. You have to make sure that, I'm going to tell you what, you can tell your child wants it when they're asking you for a ride to the gym, or they're going out and they're working on themselves without you having to push them. If you have spring practice, like now, you're getting ready to have practice or whatever like that, but before dead period starts, and your kid is having a hard time getting up or is always having an excuse, they don't want it. You wasting your money. Is that real? I mean, that's just real talk. You wasting your money. I wouldn't be taking them to no camps. I wouldn't be doing none of that as far as going out of my way when that child is not showing me that they want it. And so a lot of times parents, you know, spend a lot of money pushing their kids to do something that their kid really don't want to do, because if they want it, the proof will be in the pudding and they'll show it in their actions without you, the parent, having to push them. What do you think, Coach Bryant?
Well, I think you still got to push them. I mean, even if they want it, you still got to push them, because number one, they're not my age. I mean, I've been through it, so I already know what to do. It's sort of like I say all the time when people talk about, well, this is how they used to do it back then. And my favorite saying is, that catches everybody's attention. If you have somebody in your family that's never been to Manhattan Monday through Friday, quit talking to your kids about the way you used to do it. They have no idea what you're talking about. It's a waste of time. Because if you have never been to Manhattan, there's no way I can describe Manhattan to my dad. I can't describe it because it's different. Trying to get to that next level is different. It is very difficult. And the biggest spark is the game gets harder as you get older. And that's the biggest thing that we talk about all the time when you're coaching. And like, I go back to my 14U team, and I said it before, great kids to coach. This is a fun team. You know, it doesn't mean it's going to be W's all the time. It just says they love me coaching them. They love Coach Moore, the assistant coach, coaching them. And they listen and they try. And that's all you want. You want your kids to try and give that maximum effort every single time.
Yeah, I definitely think that you guide and not push. But to me, the kid still has to set the tone for how much you push. For like with Ty showed us he wanted it. So then, of course, we did push more. So I apologize. That's kind of what I meant was, if they're showing that they want it, then of course push them to as far as they can go, or as hard as that they will go, so that they can get to the next level, because they're going to need that. And just because they were good in Pee Wee, Parks and Rec, doesn't mean that they're going to be good in middle school. Just because they were a beast in middle school does not mean that that's going to translate into high school. And just because they were amazing in high school and was all city and all state in high school, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to translate for them to be a D1 in college, right? And so you got to be realistic about your child and who they are, and and just I'm telling you, you got to read the room when it comes to your child, because if they're not setting the tone that they want it, I'm not wasting my money. Oh, hey, Miss Joanne. Love the message about not pushing the kid. You got it, but not push. Yeah. Oh yeah, Coach Bryant hit it dead on the nose. You definitely have to guide them, especially if they're showing you that they want it. But if they're not showing you that they want it, they're the ones that's sitting on the sidelines and mad, and then those are the parents that are unrealistic, because darn well your kid ain't putting in no work outside of showing up for practice.
Right, but sometimes you can run, you can jump, you can work hard, and I say this as well. I'm agreeing with you 100%, but on the other hand, I'm sitting there going, you can put in the work and still be third string.
That too,
because it's the ability that you
have. Because you just don't have the ability.
I had knee surgery, and my doctor was good. I mean, he's very good at what he does. And a lot of people that had knee surgery was like, man, my doctor messed my knee up even worse. So and the biggest thing is the term enjoy. And I hate when people say have fun. You have fun when you win it. I'm sorry. You have fun.
You have fun when you're winning. But if you're not winning, it's tough.
It's very difficult. It is very difficult. But you can lose and still win.
Yes.
Because if somebody, I can practice all I want to, I'm not going to beat LeBron. If he gives his 95 to 100% effort, there's no way. But when I walk off the field, walk off the diamond, and walk off the court, I ask myself and I ask my God, did I give my effort? Every single moment, every single inch. And that's what a lot of the young people are lacking.
Yes.
They take plays off.
Yes.
And then they say, oh, I did this, and I'm happy with this small achievement when I could have did this. And the way I coach is I want you to give it 110% until it's 0.0.00 on the clock. And then you enjoy your accolades, or then you figure everything out.
Mm-hmm.
And that helps you.
Texas Tech up 1-0 at the top of the sixth with 0 outs.
0 outs. No outs, man. It ain't called
0 outs.
It's not called. It's called no outs.
Well, that's I was on my soapbox for a little bit on that, Coach Bryant.
Well, I'll let you do you.
I was on my soapbox on that. I had I sat down with a young lady, and you sat down and we talked to a husband just recently, and that was one of the topics of conversation was, what is pushing too hard? Of course, sometimes if you're married to, if in this situation, the husband was a former athlete, was really, really good, and the son is enjoying and wanting to play, and then the mom wasn't an athlete and doesn't understand, the grind with being an athlete, and sometimes that there's you'll bump heads, and I think that's and that's kind of where we were able to help this couple kind of work through that, because I was able to kind of sit down with her and give her a perspective. So I can give a perspective as an athlete. I can give a perspective as a sports mom. I can give a perspective as a coach. And then I can also give a perspective as a coach's wife. And so her husband had been coaching. And so I was kind of able to come through from as a coach's wife, but also from a coach's perspective and from an athlete perspective. But she also had to understand that there's just some things you're never going to understand because you were not an athlete. And then I think that's where some moms and dads that weren't on that level, or especially if they weren't an elite athlete, if you were an average athlete, but being able to lead your son or daughter to be an elite athlete when you weren't an elite athlete, I think a lot of parents are getting trouble with that as well. What do you think, Coach Bryant?
Well, I don't know. I've always felt like that you just give your effort. And I say it all the time. You give your effort, whatever your effort is. I do not do a comparison of this person or that person when I coach. I don't care if this guy's running this, just make sure you don't drop your level down. And when you, like you was talking about, when we was talking about this family is everyone always thought when I worked with Ty Bryant that we're out there for 3 to 5 hours.
And that's not the case.
We weren't even close.
It was never even an hour.
It was over. It was an hour, but barely over, maybe an hour, 15 minutes. And it wasn't every day. It was, but then an hour and 15, hour, 30 minutes, the 100% max effort. And he wasn't exhausted where he couldn't get out of bed. It wasn't running into the ground because you make it where they want to come back.
Yeah.
Just like if I private train someone and I put a lot of weight on the bar and they feel good, it ain't the second day.
It's the third
day.
Yeah.
That third day will get you.
You're sore, you can't move, and then I ain't
You're
going
be
back.
A little sore and you ain't going back. It's the same thing when you work with your child. If you don't make it interesting and you don't make it productive for them, not for you, then that child will resent going to work out.
Right.
And that's a fact.
Right. Hey, Stacy, how are you? Oh, Mr. Brown, that is a great point, of course, because they weren't coaches, because they were coaches. I mean, it kind of refutes kind of what I said, that sometimes.
No, read it.
Oh, it was Richard Williams and Earl Woods coaches, and they weren't coaches, but they were fathers that wanted or had a vision for their kids.
But Mr. Woods did play tennis. I mean,
he played golf. Yeah,
he did play golf, but he precised it with the technique, and Tiger was blessed. Okay, same thing with Serena Williams and Venus. Okay, they also was blessed to have that talent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so when he was coaching them, as a dad or as a coach, he pushed that talent out. And I will always say all the time when Ty used to get C's in math, wait a second, why are you getting C's in math? Push that out. It's in you. It's in your bloodstream. Numbers. It's in your bloodstream. And now he gets A's. And what I'm getting at is, I thought that when you look at the history and you read their books and you read their the information on them, they coached them a little different than you can do now. And especially what I read about Coach Williams, the dad. It was. They were educated, all the girls. I think it was like 4 of them.
Yeah, something like that.
Four
couple
young
of
ladies.
Mm-hmm.
And they were all educated. And again, you got to have some talent.
Yeah, they were talented. And then he started them young. Well, I know Tiger started like very, very young.
Yeah, he was on shows at 3.
3, yeah.
I mean, that natural talent was there.
Right. And then that makes a difference when, because that's kind of what Coach Bryant did. Ty was doing drills when he was 3.
Push-ups.
He was
Remember
doing.
Mom got mad at me? Yeah. Making that baby do push-ups.
Yeah. And and so he started at a young age. And so sometimes when you instill that, they automatically just fall in love with well, this is just what I do. You know, I know one of the big questions that we've always asked Ty was, are you doing this because you actually love playing either baseball or football, or are you doing this because you feel like we'll be mad at you if you decided to quit? And he was like, no. And he did do a TikTok where he was like, you know, where he was like, he said, something about being forced, but he was being, not being negative towards the parents. He was like being thankful that there was some level of encouragement and guidance and a little bit of push there, that Cisco coached him to where he enjoyed and loved the game. He didn't not love it because he was pushed too far and too much to where he hated it.
Well, there was some days now. I ain't gonna kid you. There was some days
he was cussing you out under his breath. Yeah,
he wasn't very happy with Pops. But it's sometimes you got to give strong love, and it's where you. And then I said this earlier is if there are levels here and you're a parent or you're a coach academically, and you let that level drop, that's on you.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, I forget which coach said this, that when you're born, you're automatically lazy. It might be Nick Saban.
Right.
Okay. You're automatically a certain way. And then you grind into being a different way. And it was Nick, if I remember correctly, saying that. And you got to get players, you know, male or female, to understand that. And when you see those two elite whose grind and battle go against each other, it's amazing. It is amazing. And then you got to have that mindset that I'm better than that person, even if I'm not. And if you don't think you're the best thing going today, don't get mad at other people if they don't
think that you're the good. Because
you can talk.
You have to have some level of swagger and confidence.
And I said it before. I go back to knee surgery. I love my swagger on my doctor. He's smooth. He's got swagger. So I love it.
Well, if there's anybody out there that want to just hop on and have something to say, I just dropped the link in the comments. You could just click on the comments and we'll see you if you pop on. If you want to jump on real quick and do a cameo, we're almost done.
I'm looking to do. I haven't spoke to the boss yet. I'm looking, and hopefully that before high school football comes up, we set a date to have all the high school head coaches or the defensive or, you know, offensive. Do we want offensive coordinators? Okay. Have the head coach and the defensive coordinators and maybe some offensive coordinators to come on, and just talk about this upcoming season here in Fayette County. Because if we go to that subject of high school football, it's going to be pretty neat. And meaning that, you know, Frederick Douglass is going to do their thing, but there's a lot of the teams are coming up. Everybody's excited to see what Coach Hawkins is going to do with Henry Clay.
Yeah,
and it's not just Coach Hawkins, because he was very fortunate to have a lot of his guys at Bryant Station
follow him over,
and that makes a big difference. I mean, we're successful at Crawford because of you. Because you're the common denominator. You're the coach that understands this is what Coach Bryant wants if I'm not around. And it makes a big difference. You know, your assistant coaches makes a huge difference in your program. And I'm like, sound no different than Lafayette. And, you know, and who I really want to, hopefully he does well, who's a fantastic person, is Coach Johnson at Dunbar.
Oh, yes.
You know, and I'm sorry. I know some people got their words on, but
he's good people.
He's very good, and he knows this game. But again, what did I say? You got to get some players. You got
to get players.
I mean, I can do the X's and O's all I want to, but
if you don't have,
and some Jimmys and some Joes.
If you don't have the players, you can do it all day. I believe he's Coach Mr. Brown said, I believe Coach Bryant was a father and a coach. I love how he was a father as a coach, but it also helps that you were an elite player. You were the best corner ever.
Maybe one of the best. Well, and then when he says it,
and you played 2 sports. So
when he says that, he didn't just play; he played.
He played.
Yes. And how can you not listen?
And I love the story on how he became a coach, because he wasn't trying to. He took them to football practice, and the coaches that was trying to coach him was messing everything up, and he had to go correct them on a lot of stuff. And then he ended up kind of just taking over and coaching them from there. So I love that story about Coach Prime.
But that's a simulation to how I started coaching
baseball. That is how you started.
Same reason. I was coaching at Dunbar, and I nothing against the 2 gentlemen that was coaching them, and I was like, whoa, wait a second. That ain't how you coach.
Crawford is converting to a magnet school. So we have no idea what kids are coming back next year. We're in the position that Henry Clay and Bryant Station were when Frederick Douglass opened. There's a brand new middle school that's opening. And so a lot of our players and kids are fall in that district. And everybody's going to go after the shiny new object. Everybody wants to go to the new school, what's brand new. And you just can't fight that. Just can't fight that.
I said it before when Collins and Shelbyville, not Shelbyville. What am I saying? Going up Louisville.
Yeah, you're right, Shelbyville.
Okay, Shelbyville.
When they split.
Okay, and the funniest thing about that, and could be the same way. That team from Shelbyville was supposed to be unbelievable coming back. They were not supposed to have Collins ready yet. So they were ranked number 1 in the state. They were coming up this season. And I remember Coach Dr. Oliver Lucas giving me the roster. And I said, Coach, this is last year's roster. He said, look, they're all juniors. And then what happened is the ones that supposed to stay went to that shiny new. Now I want to say that I know I'm right on this. Neither one of them finished very well.
But that also happened for Scott County too. Remember when Great Crossings opened?
Yeah, but he was still competitive in it. Yeah,
not like he was.
Well, not like he was, of course not, because not getting off the horses, and so that's what we're looking to do and get.
So yes, it's converting to a magnet school, Mr. Brown, and it's gonna be tough.
Stuff is changing, and it's gonna be tough.
It's gonna be tough.
But each year, I think last year in our 6 years was the first year I already knew who the players was going to be.
That was the first year.
That was the first year,
and we were looking forward to them coming back this year. But then the new school's opening.
Right, but I knew who was going to be the quarterback. I knew who was going to be
we did
the
know.
center.
Yes, we did know that.
And when people used to say, "Well, we need to run a scrimmage," I would say, "We can't scrimmage." We can't scrimmage. I said, "We can't scrimmage," because they were like, "Wow, I don't know who we are."
Because we don't know. We have no idea who's on the team. Yeah. And you're right. We did scrimmage last year because we kind of knew.
We scrimmaged, but we was pushed back. In the next week.
Yeah.
But because, a lot of times they got to learn our system. I got to know what they got to do.
Right.
And if I don't know their talent, it makes a difference.
Right. And so yeah, that's that. That's all I got on my notes, Mr. Coach Bryant. You got anything else that we missed out on? Oh, what's the score? Who's watching the softball game? What's our girl doing? Texas is up 2-1 in the top of the 7th. Oh my goodness gracious. We're going to get off here and watch this 7th inning.
Well, we will probably have a guest on next week. And if we don't,
we'll have a guest on next week. I know the 18th we have a guest booked. So we'll start booking guests again, so you guys just don't have to listen to me. And then we
you all right.
And then
talking enough.
We'll get this party started back up here, Mr. Brown. What we missed, Mr. Brown? Did we miss anything? I don't think so.
Yeah, we missed
any sports news that we missed?
No, we good.
Okay.
We good.
So that's my girl Stacy Ferguson. So y'all, let me tell y'all about Stacy. So Stacy is one of the admins of this group of women that we all love football. So she's a Cleveland Browns fan, and of course I'm a Cowboys fan. And so we just had this this contest on raising money.
Which one of y'all?
And why the Cowboys come in 5th place? Ooh, I was so mad.
They're the highest paid. I think, what did they say there? 55 billion, something like that.
Good night, Auntie. Thank you, Joanne. Appreciate you. And so we're doing a meetup or a conference for this group in Cleveland, and I'm hosting a women's clinic with my girl Natola Hawthorne, who's going to be an official. So I'm presenting as a coach, and she's presenting as an official, and we're going to teach the women football, and I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, thank you, Stacy, for the opportunity for allowing me to do this, because I am so excited about it.
She's very excited, Stacy. No, she is. She really is. I'm excited for y'all.
I'm so excited. She said, "Okay, you lost me." She said, "With the Cowboys fan, I live in Dallas." I know. Ain't you a Steelers fan? I can't remember, Joanne. Steelers fan, I think. Oh, I am too, Stacy. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Are you going to Atlanta next weekend?
All righty. That's my cue.
No.
I'm gone.
I'm gone. Anyway, y'all. So we love y'all. We thank you. We'll get the this party started back up with our guests. We'll start with guest speakers again. They're starting next week. And so this weekend we have our last home game, and then the weekend after that, Father's Day weekend, we'll be in Atlanta. I'll be in Atlanta. So we're hoping that we'll have a mini meetup then. Joanne, a Steelers fan, right? Yeah. You know I love me some Steelers. I can't wait to find out who y'all quarterback may be. Who that quarterback may be? Aaron Rodgers is still giving them the
chance. They didn't draft.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't draft them, but yeah. And then Aaron Rodgers is giving them the.
Appreciate y'all.
He's not doing anything. Anyway, y'all. So we love y'all, and we will see y'all next weekend. Next Wednesday. Every Wednesday, we'll see you. Love you. Bye. Y'all see my books. Good night.